Okay, everybody, I've got 11:30, so we're going to get started. I want to thank you for coming we're going to talk about some motion products available from Rockwell. It's not going to be a deep dive. We only have 15 minutes, but we're going to cover what we can in that amount of time. My name is Mike Murphy. I'm one of the industrial automation specialists here at Schaedler Yesco, and I spend most of my time working with the motion products. So the first thing we want to talk about is a little bit of life cycle status. It's a fact of life. These products are very much like PCs these days. Chips wear out, technology moves on, and you need to update your products from time to time. So we have a couple of products that have recently gone, they've gone end of life, and the date for the discontinued status has been announced. So I know we have a ton of this product out there as an installed base in the area, so I wanted to make you aware of this. I know we have a lot of Kinetics 300 and 350 product out there, servo drives, and also the Ultra 3000s. There's a ton of those out there in the territory. So these have been announced they've been end of life for some time, and they are going to go discontinued status at the end of this year. Got a little bit of legend at the bottom there. If you're not familiar with the Rockwell life cycle status, so when products first come out, they're active, then they move to active mature, then end of life, which that date then allows you to make some last time buys and that kind of thing, and get some migration plans going to get that stuff replaced. And then it goes discontinued, and you cannot buy that product new any longer. So as you can see there, we've got several products that have been out for some time, and they will be discontinued at the end of this year. So we need to start those migration plans now. And the good thing is Rockwell's very good about not leaving you hanging when these kind of transitions occur. So there are migration guides available. You can see all the different individual manuals that are available to go from one product to another. And then of course I'm always here to help. So please don't hesitate to contact me if you have a need. So if you saw on the right column on that previous slide of what you need to migrate to, one of those products is a Kinetics 5100 drive. Those have been out for about 2 or 3 years now, and it's considered a component class servo drive. It's kind of for some of the lesser strenuous type applications, low axis count, and kind of some of the simpler applications. It works very well with the Micro 800 line of PLCs, if you're familiar with those. A lot of nice features between the two that allow them to interact together very easily. The Kinetics 5100 is an indexer only. So in the Rockwell world, there's two types of motion. There's the standalone indexer / analog, and then there's the SIP integrated motion. So this falls in that first category where you do all the indexes and things are stored in the drive. All the motion execution happens in the drive, and then you can get status out of it either via discrete signals, analog signals, or Ethernet messaging. There are add-on instructions available. AOI stands for add-on instructions. So if you have a compact Logix controller and you need to interface with that Kinetics 5100, you can drop those add-on instructions into your program, and makes it very easy to integrate that together. So a lot of this stuff is already pre-canned, pre-configured. You just have to kind of wire it up in the background to make it work. So when I say wire it up, I mean with just some configuration in the processor. So that works out very well. This drive is, if you do have like a Kinetics 3, a 300, or a certain flavors of the Ultra 3000 out there, you can. This is the intended replacement for those applications. Very broad input power compatibility, so anywhere from 120 volt single phase up to 240 volt single phase or 3-phase, and then of course there's also 480 volt 3-phase available, and anywhere from 400 watt up to 15 kilowatt in size. They are compatible with the TL series motors. There's actually a new motor that was released in parallel with this drive, the TLP series, and those windings are designed to be most efficiently used with the Kinetics 5100 and also the 5300 drive we're going to talk about in a minute. So the TL series motors and then also the MP series, which have been out for quite a few years, are also compatible. If you're familiar with the VP series, that single cable solution, those are not compatible with this drive, so we've got to be careful there. But and then the software package is a free download, but it does take a separate software package to configure and make this drive work. So the good news is, if you do have one of those drives out in the field and you need to start the migration process, it doesn't cost you anything really to start that process of migrating. You can download the software for free, start programming the new drive, and then you don't have to even buy the hardware right away. You can do all that ahead of time. Kind of the cousin to the 5100 is the Kinetics 5300 servo drive. Exact same drive as far as the power structure is concerned, but it is SIP integrated motion. So that's that other category of motion I was talking about. The SIP integrated motion is used in the cases where maybe you have a lot of different products you have to run through the day, so you can load recipes and things in the processor and then move that data in and out of motion instructions. All of that motion planning and execution happens in the PLC, not in the drive, and all you're doing is passing status over a high-speed network between the drive and the PLC. So it makes it very easy to select a product like from an HMI. You move all that stuff all that data around in the controller, and allows you to run different products very easily throughout the day. So the Kinetics 5300, again, very same power structure that based on the Kinetics 5100, but it uses that SIP integrated motion programming. So there are two other drives I didn't mention because they've been around a while. This whole seminar is about what's new in motion. So the Kinetics 5500s have been around for several years, and the 5700s there on the far right, they've been out for a little bit of time. And this kind of shows you like when do I use what drive kind of thing. So 5100s there on the left, again, that's if you have kind of a simpler application where you can store X number of indexes and just call up the index you need out of the drive. That's available in that Kinetics 5100. Then you move up to the 5300, you get a little more flexibility in that as far as changing your product throughout the day. And then the Kinetics 5500 is kind of for more of a medium-sized machine or medium-type application. And then the Kinetics 5700 is a very efficient way of getting a lot of axes of motion in your control panel. Actually, one catalog number on the smaller drives are 2 axes of motion. So you get, for one catalog number, you get 2 axes of motion. Totally independent, totally configurable separate, and that kind of thing. So that, from smallest to largest, that's kind of how the motion stuff shakes out these days. So one of the things you need to do to have a system that runs very well is to make sure you do the sizing. And there's a very good online tool called Motion Analyzer. It's been out for several years. It's based in the cloud. You do everything through the web browser. Everything is stored. All your projects are stored in the cloud, so you can get to it from anywhere. Because it's in the cloud, they are continually updating and massaging that tool to make it better every day. One of the new things that are available with Motion Analyzer is actually they're going to an offline version of that new tool. So you can, it's not available yet. I think within a year they're saying it's going to be released. So you can do all that sizing and everything on your local PC. You don't have to be attached to the internet to do that. So the online tool's not going anywhere. So if you like that tool, you can continue to use that tool. But the offline tool will be available probably within a year. And just a quick note, if you're still using the old tool, the Motion Analyzer 7.2, we have a lot of die-hard users of that. They don't want to give it up. I would highly recommend you start migrating to the new tool, because that Motion Analyzer, the old 7.2, that database is getting pretty stale. It's probably been 10 years or so since they've updated that. So most of the newer products we're talking about are not in that old tool. So that's Motion Analyzer. If you get into a sizing situation and you're not quite sure where to enter data in the field, please do not hesitate to contact me. I help customers size that stuff up all day long, so I can shorten the learning curve for you on that. Another new product in the motion space that's available now through distribution is the independent cart technology. So the Magnum Mover Lite, the Quick Stick, and Quick Stick HT, and then there's another product called iTrack. We have a good example of the Magnum Mover Lite over on the show floor. So if you go directly to your right over in that other corner, you'll see a bunch of carts moving around on that system. That's a demo of the Magnum Mover Lite. we can go into more detail in that on that product over there if you have some questions. But basically, it's a linear motor and a track. You put carts that are on a free running track, and then the linear motor pulls those carts around. Very, very rapid accel decels available, very precise motion, and the Magnum Mover Lite is kind of a middle of the road size application. I think it goes up to about 10 kilograms, yes. So your payload can be about 10 kilograms per cart. The quick stick can be much larger. They can be as large as 10,000 kilograms per cart. And then the iTrack is, again, kind of on the smaller. There's a small frame and a large frame available there. So we can help you pick out the right product for your application, so give us a call. So another option, robotic control. We've had connectivity to robots for quite some time. It's all like through messaging and things over Ethernet up till now. There have been some other things available. One of those is called unified control. So rather than have a separate robotics controller and you do messaging to it to tie it in with the rest of your control system, it's actually all of that kinematics and everything involved with the robot is handled inside the PLC itself. So there's support for different kinds of robots within the Logix product. So you can, the benefit is everything's in one place. You don't need to have separate software and diagnostics and all that kind of stuff. Everything is done right in the PLC. I don't know if you've heard the term digital twin yet or not, but that is getting to be a very common term. And Rockwell's got a product for the motion space called Emulate 3D. Emulate 3D allows you to drop 3D SolidWorks configurations of your machine or of your process right into this Emulate 3D product. You can assign physics characteristics to those different parts of the machine, and you can actually then wire it up to your controller in the background. So you can actually have your ControlLogix or CompactLogix controller running the program and tied to Emulate 3D, so it allows you to do all of your commissioning and everything, not all of it, but a big chunk of your commissioning in a virtual world while they're still building the machine. So no longer do you have to wait for them to be physically done with the machine in order to get done what you need to have done as far as the controls. Emulate 3D. This is a good example of the Emulate 3D. This is not like a marketing video. This is actually the Emulate 3D product. This is an actual line at Rockwell. And you can see in the front there the iTrack product with the red carts shuttling the assembly from one place to another. And a lot of robotics involved in there. So all of that kinematics, all that motion that's happening in there was actually simulated in Emulate 3D before the machine was ever built. And to prove that that's real, this is the video of the same line. This is not a demo. This is actually a line that's running out at Rockwell, and they're manufacturing contactors. So this is all robotics. You can see this is an articulated arm. That's a connected robot going through a vision inspection station. There was a Schaedler robot. This is a Cartesian robot. So all these things were emulated in Emulate 3D. And all of these robots are either unified or connected control right back to the controller. So a couple of Delta robots here doing pick and place, very high speed application. And at the end there's an articulated robot that's used for palletizing. So we're nearing the end of the presentation. I wanted to let you know that all that robotics that you saw in that video, I'm going to have a talk at 2 o'clock down at Empire A and B. We're going to talk about for about an hour, give you some more details on that. There's also an integrated motion lab available at 2 o'clock, and you need to sign up for that roughly an hour before to get in there. That's down in Magnolia B. So this is some other motion content available at the show today. So thanks for attending. Feel free to scan that QR code. That'll draft an email on your phone, and you can look at it and just click send, and that will send an email to me. I'll have your email address. You can either add your questionnaire or just send me the email, and I'll contact you after the show. So thanks for attending. I appreciate it. Have a good day.